Hi everyone, it's Rose Dannerine, and if you love to cook or you're always trying to experiment with new Caribbean dishes, you wouldn't want to change the channel. Today I have a foodie and content creator who loves sharing her recipes, culture, and family life through YouTube. Please help me welcome Reshmi Rampersad. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me, Rose.
It is my pleasure. We met last year at Maracas nightclub for the Diwali Nagar. It was the first time we met, and that was through your cousin,
Yes.
Kalisa. So it was
Yes.
so good to meet you and see you in person. And now we want to get to know you a little more. We've been seeing your recipes online, and so can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and more about your background?
Yes. So I am Reshmi Rampersad from Trinidad and Tobago. I now reside in Houston, Texas, and I moved here from New York City a few months ago. And I'm a foodie and a content creator, and I go under the name Taste of Trini or on YouTube or Taste of Trinbago on Facebook and Instagram. And I use YouTube as a medium to share recipes, to share culture, family life. And I'm doing school right now. So this is just a hobby. It's a way for me to de-stress. So it's really therapeutic for me and it helps me to unwind when I had a long day at school.
Uh-huh.
So I actually started this when I moved to New York in my early 20s and I got married.
Mhm.
And cooking traditional food was a way for me to connect
Yeah.
to my culture and to home. So it kept me close to home and to my family.
Mhm.
And since I moved to Texas, I'm still sharing a little bit about um, my perspective on what it's like being in Texas and if I can find ingredients. I like to share that with the viewers also. So we're off to a good start already because the weather is just like home in Trinidad and Tobago.
So when
Yeah.
you say you want to connect to home, where exactly did you grow up? Which area?
I grew up in central Trinidad, so
Mhm.
it was close to I'm not sure if you know the Dattatreya temple or the temple by the sea.
Yes. I,
Yeah, so I lived about 10 minutes away from there.
okay, and how has
Yeah.
been growing up in that area impacted your culinary development?
Well, to me, it was more like I would say a country style life. So it was more traditional. It was more based on traditional cooking. And that's where I really fell in love with cooking because I would look at my grandfather and his brothers and how they cooked those huge rotis, the paratha roti,
Yeah.
on those huge towers. And it was so intriguing to me, even seeing like a fish van pass. And my aji, my dad's mom,
Mhm.
she'd teach me how to like clean the fish when we buy it and all those things. So that's how I got the appreciation for food and for cooking
Okay, so
and
you would
culture.
say your grandparents are the one who had a big influence in shaping you to become a foodie. I remember seeing
Yes.
seeing a video where you shared a little more about your grandparents and your grandfather. Old Talkin', I think it was called.
Yeah, yeah.
Old Talkin' with that.
That's my that's my husband's grandparents.
Okay, and I
Yeah.
love the fact that it's not just food, but it's the culture as well. And we clearly see
Yeah.
how important it is for you to keep that connection and preserve. I'm using the words you describe,
Yeah.
preserve our culture, our food, and it's
Yeah.
it's really great to watch. So, what are some of your favorite things to cook?
So I love cooking chicken soup. I like making doubles. I like making pilau because that's one of my husband's favorite dishes.
Mhm.
Anytime we don't know what we're gonna cook, it's always pilau. And I
Okay.
also love cooking roti because that's one of the things I used to love watching my grandfather do. So
Yeah.
I love cooking roti too.
Okay, so I know this is kind of like putting you on the spot, but the
Yeah,
other day I made sada roti
yeah,
and I sent it to two of my friends, Amanda and Marisha, and they said, "What? Every time I make it, it comes out really hot. Like their
yeah.
roti comes out really hot. What would be the secret to not making the roti hot?"
So I actually had that same issue
Hmm.
because even though people think, I'm a YouTuber and I share cooking, I do have instances where I don't like how something turns out, and I'm not a perfectionist and I don't know everything. But I also have the same issue with sada roti. So recently I found out that you need to use really warm water to knead the dough because it helps the dough to absorb more water, more moisture,
Yeah.
and it keeps it nice and soft and tender.
Mhm.
So I think that's the trick with the sada roti.
Okay, the reason I laugh is because I said to myself, I'm going to try the same recipe. So I have the Naparima Girls Cooking Book,
Yeah,
which I did not use. I had to dust it off because, now I need to cook. So
yeah,
I used the recipe for the aloo pie. And I
okay,
also looked at your video for aloo pie. So I looked and I read. So when I went to make the sada roti, I went and I looked at the same recipe for the aloo pie and it said warm water. So I ended up using warm water, and I'm like, wait, how did my sada roti come out soft and theirs didn't? But now that you
yeah,
said that, it makes a
yeah.
difference. That's really,
Especially because it's cold there now. So
yeah,
you want to make sure your dough stays nice and moist. It tends to dry out quickly. So what I used to do when I lived in New York, I would knead the dough and put it in the boiler room so it stays warm.
very interesting. Okay.
Yeah, or you can just keep it in your microwave or your oven. It stays warm in there too.
So the dough needs to be warm.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so since we are in the spirit of sharing, now that
yeah,
people are home, we have
yeah.
nowhere else to go and be, and we need to be cooking. What are some recipes you would share with us that's quick and easy, or any recipe that you'd like to share?
I would say curry chicken because it's so easy. It's comfort food.
Mhm.
So how I make my curry chicken, I just season it up with the green seasonings, which includes plenty garlic, some bandania or shadow bani. Some people call it culantro, some hot pepper. So you blend that up, you season your chicken, let it marinate, or you can cook it right away. And then you chunky a pot or you saute your aromatics,
Mhm.
which would be some more garlic, some onion, hot pepper. You can use some carapila leaves or curry leaves. And you let that fry up a bit or saute, and we say chunky.
Yeah.
And then you add your curry. For me, I also like to add some turmeric and some roasted ground jeera, some black masala. I let that parch or toast, and then I make a slurry, and I add the seasoned chicken to it, let it spring its natural juices.
Yeah.
Then once that reduces, you add some hot water, you let it make a sauce, and then you finish with your favorite herbs. So you can do some chive or scallion and some more bandania. And it's
Okay.
simple.
And you would usually have it with like white rice or brown rice.
Yeah. I love mine with some jasmine rice.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah.
So as you were speaking and the way you're describing the food, a question just pops to my head. Like, what age did you start learning about cooking and food? And
So I think I started at a really young age. I was really interested in food from, I would say, probably about 5, 6 years old, but
Mhm.
I didn't actually get into the kitchen, like the action of cooking. I didn't start doing that until like 7, 8. But I didn't make my first meal until I was 9 years old. And my first meal was sada roti and sardine choka.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So your first meal was at 9 years old. I mean, I think I was like
Yeah.
a bad brat at 9 years old, and you're cooking at 9 years old. That's impressive.
Yeah.
And was it your grandparents who taught you how to cook?
My
And
mom actually,
your mom.
well, yeah, I started tasting my mom's food first. So she was really the first one, the first role model in the kitchen.
Mhm.
And then I started, when I watched my mom and I started to get this love for food, I started to watch everyone else. So I would watch my grandmother and ask her little tips here and there. She'd always give me, and then my aji, my nana. And I was lucky to know my great grandparents also. So they taught me a little bit.
So it's generations of learning about
Yeah.
food and cooking. So it's so fitting for you to start a YouTube channel because
Yeah.
it's clearly so important and food is so close to you.
Yeah.
And what prompted you to start a YouTube channel?
It was when I moved to New York, and food was the only thing that kept me connected. It was the only thing that kept me close to home then.
Yeah.
And there were things that I would want to see on YouTube that I didn't see.
Yeah.
And I said, I need to start sharing things so that maybe people in my situation would, they'd feel closer to home also. So I would always visit Trinidad. I mean, I haven't been back for a while now, but usually I visit every twice per year. So when I go back, I share things like going by the oyster man, buying snow cone, buying doubles, things that people want to see and that they crave, like
Mhm.
going on a Coral River Lime or just having a cook home. People like to see those things when they're far away from home, and that's why I really started the channel,
And
to
what are
keep them
some,
connected.
right, and what are some other things people can find on your channel?
So I also share recipes, I share the culture, I do vlogs. So we call it Drive with We, where we share lots of local and small businesses. I love to highlight
Yeah.
the small businesses, especially in Trinidad and Tobago. And I used to do it in New York also, and then here in Texas I started doing it.
That's excellent. And now, how would you rate your success on YouTube?
I'd say it's been great, but for me, it's not about the views or the amount of subscribers. It's more about having an impact.
Mhm.
And I think gaining the success is more, uh, is just to show that we can build a community, and that no matter where in the world we go, Trinis can always stick together and through food, culture, and family.
Oh, that's very touching. And clearly people love you. They love looking at what you have to share on your YouTube channel. You just crossed 100,000 subscribers, and YouTube sent you an award, which
Yeah.
is such a beautiful award. I don't know if you have it next to you, you could show it to us, but if it's not next to you, it's okay.
It's
Um,
right here. Honey, can you bring the award, please? Yeah,
so
sorry.
congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
And when you receive that
Thank
award,
you.
I'm actually here. My hands are like raising right now because it's like such a big deal. How did you feel when you received that award?
I was excited, but I feel like I was more excited to show the viewers
Yeah.
that they have such a profound impact on
Mhm.
the channel. And as I said, for me, it's more about, it's more about them. It's more about the culture and the community for me.
Yeah.
And that makes more of an impact. I'm not about the views or the likes or those
Yeah.
things. It's just making an impact. That's what counts. So this is the award.
Oh my gosh,
You can see it.
congratulations. And it says presented to Taste of Trini for passing
Yeah.
100,000 subscribers, YouTube. That is such a cool thing. I mean, accolades do help. It's very encouraging as well.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you're going to be displaying it and not keeping it in the box.
Yes, I want to hang it right behind here. It's
Oh,
gonna
oh,
go up
good.
on this wall. Yeah.
Oh, good, good. So that's a project in the works.
Yes.
Well, you spoke about keeping in touch. I know my brother, one of my brothers, Rocky, he absolutely loves looking at your video. Actually, his wife said to me, Rocky loves her when they heard I was going to be interviewing you. And
Oh,
it's truly a way where people could go on the internet and find recipes we want to taste. And sometimes when we're home, our mom is cooking for us, our dads, but when we get married or when we move out onto our own, we're on our own and we just have to cook for
yeah.
ourselves. And it's good to have that platform to go and see some authentic food. You spoke about your hubby. I guess he's right there. Hi to him.
Yeah.
Now, how does he enjoy your cooking? What a lucky guy, by
he
the way.
yeah, he loves it, but a lot of people don't know that he's actually a great cook also.
Okay, okay.
He cooks really good. I mean, I cook the West Indian food, but he does more of the gourmet food. He likes to make desserts, so he makes a really good cheesecake, a really good tiramisu. But I think I spoiled him too much because he doesn't do a lot of cooking now.
Well, that's a great balance. You can make the food, he can make the dessert, and
Yeah.
knowing that sometimes maybe when you're creating your content and you just want to relax a little bit because you're working, he can take over and cook as
Yeah.
well. But that's good.
Yeah.
Now, if you can tell us one thing, if you can tell our viewers one thing, what would that be?
So because I'm a YouTuber, I want to give some advice to people who may want to start a channel.
Yes.
So a lot of people might be discouraged on
Mhm.
starting a channel because there are so many YouTubers out there. Sometimes you feel like it's too saturated and you may not be seen. But I think if you have a passion for it, you should go for it because we all have something unique to bring. And I think we can all learn from each other. So once you're authentic and you be yourself, I think you should be fine. So if you want to start a YouTube channel, go right ahead. And if that's your passion, then go for it.
Yeah. Did you have days where you probably didn't want to do it again, or when it comes to putting yourself out there, you're also opening up to negativity. Did you have to deal with that, and how do you deal with that?
Yes, I did have to deal with a lot of negativity when I just started. It was tough because I think I grew up being very sheltered, so I didn't know how to react to the negativity. So I would cry a lot when I saw comments, and I think over the years I got a little bit stronger and I learned how to deal with it now.
Mhm.
So now I realize it's just people who are behind their computers, and I mean, they don't know the hard work that goes into it. So it's easy for them to complain or to criticize
Yeah.
or give negative remarks. And so I just learned to ignore it or delete it. And now I just reply and I say, can you send the link to your video? I'm sure it's way better. And they just stop responding.
Yeah, that's a great way to deal with it, and it's
Yeah.
good over the years you develop sort of a thick skin, and
Yeah.
it certainly has led to a lot of success.
Yeah.
Now, to wrap things up, for those viewers that possibly didn't subscribe yet, or we have a different crowd, maybe a different nationality, what would you say to them? Why should they follow your account, and what probably is unique about Taste of Trini?
Okay, so I love trying food from different cultures, and I think a lot of people are open to it also. So I think when they subscribe to Taste of Trini, they'll get a new perspective on a new culture, and they'll see what life is like in Trinidad and Tobago. They'll get to see the vendors, all the the local, the small vendors, and they'll get a taste of Trini in every aspect. So culture, life, family, the recipes, the food, and everything else. So I think they'll enjoy it.
Make sure to subscribe. And where can they find you on social media?
So I am on Instagram at Taste of Trinbago as well as Facebook. I'm also on Twitter at Taste of Trinbago.
Yeah. And YouTube, of course.
Yeah, yeah, Taste of Trini on YouTube. Yes.
Taste of Trini on YouTube. And last but not least, can you give us probably like 3 cooking tips, easy cooking tips for people like me who are amateurs? Like, what would you say?
Cooking
Um,
tips.
I just started in the kitchen, and I'm liking it a lot, but for amateurs, for people who are now starting off, what would
Okay.
be your, or people in general who just want to
Okay. So for me, one of the tips I learned, it's not really cooking, it's more like a kitchen tip.
learn?
Always wash your wares as you go. It helps you to organize better and you
Okay.
don't end up wanting to pull your hair out at the end of the night,
Yeah.
having to wash all these wares. So
Yeah.
that's just one tip. And then the next tip would be to have a good cast iron pot and some good knives.
Mhm.
Because cast iron is one of the best materials to cook in. So it's always good to have a good cast iron pot, take good care of it, learn how to season the pot and what not to do with it, and then have some good sharp knives.
What do you mean season the pot?
So with cast iron, seasoning the pot means to clean it. Well, for my cast iron, what I do is I wash it out with water. You don't use soap or anything.
Mhm.
And then after each use, when you wash it, you put some oil on it
Mhm.
and you heat it up, and it kind of creates a layer on the pot.
Uh-huh.
So that's what you call the seasoning. And the
Okay.
initial seasoning is when you actually scrub the layer off, you put oil, and then you bake it in the oven. So that layer gets baked on,
Mhm.
and it's actually it's one of the healthiest materials to cook on nowadays.
Oh, that's really good. I would love to see a video. Maybe you should do a
Okay.
video
Yes,
of have
I'm gonna
peas in the
do,
pot.
yeah.
Thank you so much. I learned a lot just the short time that we're in, and I'm really proud of you for carrying on the culture and sharing a taste of Trini with Trinbagonians around the globe and non-West Indians as well. Thank you very much, and we look forward to doing more interviews with you.
Thank you so much for having me and for the kind words.
You're welcome.
Thanks.